What's up, everybody? Gideon's Tactical here, doing the in-depth review for you of the Kershaw Scamp. I'm not 100% sure whether or not this is discontinued or not. They're still pretty accessible to find. This is a great budget folder. I'll give you some quick specs and we'll jump right into it. You got a 3.3-inch blade. You have a 4 and I believe a quarter or 4.5-inch handle. Weighs 4.2 ounces. Made out of 8CR13 MOV, made in China. You can get it plain edge or serrated. Frame lock, steel on one side, G10 on the other. Tip up, tip down, lanyard hole. Those are the basic specs for you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here for the in-depth review. Nice blade here. I love this. I love the, I would call it spear tip design. It has great belly, but is also a great piercer. You're going to get a lot of work out of this blade, and it's got a lot of reach. You can definitely use it to get a lot of reach on there. I would say that's not a tactical blade. We'll get into that reason in a minute because of some traction issues. But the blade size itself, you're going to get a lot of work done. It's a very large blade in comparison to, say, like a Kershaw Chill. You can see how much larger, just in width and in length, that blade is. I mean, it's a much larger knife than, say, a Kershaw Chill or some of the other ones, maybe like a Skyline, something like that. So the blade itself, it's kind of got this Teflon coating on it, Kershaw on one side. This has the Kershaw serrations. Now, I love the serrations that they give you because it cuts really well and doesn't tear and shred like maybe some other serrations would. The only downside for me is these are almost impossible serrations to resharpen. That's the only problem I have with Kershaw's serrations that they usually do, because it's a raised tooth. They're not cut down and in, and they don't make a loop like this. Like most, they go up and over like a rainbow. So it makes it very difficult for you to resharpen these if these ever go dull. So that's the only downside I have about their serrations. Great out of the box, but for longevity of a couple years of use, it's going to be really hard to resharpen those. So just keep that in consideration. But nice strong tip, a little bit stronger than maybe some of the other ones we've seen. The 8CR13 MOV does say made in China right down there. I know that's a deal breaker for some people. But don't sell Chinese knives short, depending on the knife maker. Kershaw, Spyderco, and those two guys in particular, I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to Chinese knives and Chinese steels and all that sort of stuff. So great budget steel, going to hold an edge well. You're looking at 57 to 58 Rockwell hardness, which I think is perfect for average knife use. Holds an edge relatively well, but when it comes time to resharpen, you're not spending all day trying to resharpen the knife. Hollow grind. So it's going to cut really well, very, very sharp out of the box. So that's the overall blade itself. Let's go ahead and go to deployment. You have these awesome high sticking up thumb studs that stick up really high, really far, that are just great. They're far enough away from the handle, you can see there, and they stick up enough so that you can get great purchase on this without any problem. You're not trying to hunt and try and find it. You stick your thumb right there and boom. Whips open. Without me even flicking my wrist, I can get it open, and if I put my thumb into it, I can really get it going, and if I put my wrist, boom. I mean, it's just as fast, if not faster, than, say, this open-assisted blur. So this is just a perfect example there for you. So great purchase on the thumb studs. Don't chew up your finger, but you get great purchase on it. You're not trying to hunt and peck for them. So the deployment itself, really good. The bushings and the washers are great, with no wiggle left, right, up, down, which brings us to the lockup. The frame lock, I love frame locks. It just gives you that extra kind of sense of security than, say, a liner lock like this Kershaw Chill. It's got both sides of the liner locks inside versus this frame lock. It's just massive and thick and just gives you a little bit more peace of mind. I don't mind it at all. And for everyday use, I love it because it's usually steel on this side, which keeps it from tearing up your pocket and chewing up your jeans, and all that sort of stuff. So the lockup is great, 50% purchase right there on the back of the blade. No wiggle, left, right, up, down. Sticks up just far enough so you can get your thumb in there and move it out of the way and close it. But it's not sticking up so far that you would be afraid of maybe somehow disengaging it. So perfect lockup, in my opinion, for a frame lock. Brings us to the lockup of the knife itself, and this is why I don't think it's quite a tactical blade for self-defense. I mean, every knife can be put into that role, and if you're on a really tight budget, this will do the job, but it's just not really designed for that in comparison to some other knives, because there's zero jimping, and again, this is a budget knife. You're looking around like $30-ish, maybe a little more, maybe a little bit less, but around that price range, for this particular knife, and so that's just the price you're going to be paying. No jimping on the spine here at all. It's just nice and flat. which isn't bad, but for actual stabbing use, the only thing that would save you is this finger choil, which is really good. Get your index finger in there really well. And for everyday tasks, I mean, no problem. You're going to be cutting stuff, no problem like that. But for actual like penetration, stabbing, fighting, just protecting your life if you absolutely had to, I don't really see it there. You know, it's not like an example, a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 that has amazing lockup and amazing jimping and everything. So I mean, if I had to fight and defend my life, this would be a knife that you would want. This is a tactical blade right here. So definitely not that. Granted, I mean, this is like 5 times as much as this Scamp. But that's just a perfect example there for you. So that's just the only thing that kind of holds it back from tactical. If you had to, you could, but you know, I wouldn't be. If I was a soldier or a police officer or something like that, I would not be carrying this as my tactical blade. On to the handle scales. Now you got steel on one side, G10 on the other, which is no problem to me for average everyday use, EDC use. I don't mind having the steel over here. I don't really like all steel blades, all steel handles, because you know it's just slippery and slick, and I like a little bit of G10. Not aggressive G10, but I like G10. This though, I'm going to say they didn't really do a very good job with this G10. It's really slick. It's about the same texture if you've ever had a Rat 1. It's just slightly better texture than the Rat 1. Very slick, and I don't really care for that. I would have liked to see just a little bit more texture. You know, the Kershaw Chill definitely does a little bit better job. You know, it's not insane, but I mean, it's enough that gives you some good grip. This really doesn't do the job. This is just barely better than the steel over here. So, the G10 I would have liked to see a little bit more texture, particularly because we got steel on this side. So, nice large pocket clip. Tip up, tip down design only on the right hand. And when you're carrying it tip down, you got really good ride. You know, ride's really low in your pocket. The only downside is if you're carrying it tip up, which is the way I like to carry it, look at how much is sticking up out of your pocket. That is a lot of knife. I mean, I don't mind usually. Again, here's this paramilitary. I'll use that as an example. I mean, I got a lot sticking up out of there, but this Scamp is even more. I mean, it's pretty crazy how much is sticking up, and it's a lot. And it's, you know, shiny. And I mean, it's you know, it's just not very attractive to me, and that's the only thing I say that would kind of be is a kind of pain in the butt. Why not move this up? Let's move it up like half an inch more, and we got no problem, and it will just ride a lot better for us who like it tip up. Great pocket clip though. Retention is good, and you know, it's just going to hold really well to your pocket, and it's going to slip in and out really easily and not tear up your pocket, lanyard hole. Nice big for paracord if you wanted that. So overall, for a budget large EDC blade, I would say this is a great choice, particularly if you're on a budget. I mean, you're looking at right around like $5 more, $10 more than a Chill, but you're getting like double the size of knife. So hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit. Great EDC blade on the large end by Kershaw. I don't know if they're discontinued. You can kind of look into it, but great blade there, particularly if you like frame locks and you're on a budget. So thanks for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.